From the relative standpoint, there is no solution to any problem. From the absolute standpoint, there is no problem to be solved. And that is, change your vision. Get out of the relativity and get established in the absolute, and after having attained this vision, thereafter play the game of life. See, from the actor standpoint on the stage, he is acting a different role on the stage. He is acting a different role on the stage. Either he is a friend or an enemy, either he is a good or a bad person, a son-in-law or a father-in-law. But it is only an acting. He is absolute man, not involved in any of the relative experiences. And as a result, what happens? When he is on the stage, he acts beautifully. Understand? With wisdom, your performance increases, improves. It is not that if you think that you are only absolute reality, how will you conduct yourself in this relative world? Will there be a boredom? Oh, everywhere I alone am. What is life? Oh, it is a game like a girl about 5-6 years old, a Christian girl. I went to their house and her mother told me, Swamiji, please come, I will show you something great. Yes, I went. And her daughter was standing in front of the mirror and doing all the poses, this way, that way, this way. She said, Swamiji, she can stand before a mirror hours together, never getting bored. So she does not become two and yet enjoys the beauty of the two. See? So with the absolute vision, when we start living the relative life, life becomes more beautiful. And therefore, the teacher says, I am not giving you only the theory, jnanam, but vijnana sahitam. I will give you the technology also by which you can translate the basic knowledge into your own practice, into daily living. Raja Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumavyayam. And what is this that I am going to tell you? Raja Vidya. Vidya Nam Raja. Raja Vidya doesn't mean it is a political science. No, it is not politics. Of all the knowledges, this is the supreme knowledge. Why this is the supreme knowledge? Yaj jnatva mokshasya ashubhat. When you know chemistry, that does not liberate you from the pangs of relativity. You suffer chemically. How you know? The chemist, their language is, somehow mine and her chemistry never matches. Because they are having this biochemistry as a major problem, not subject. Second thing, if Raja Vidya, the supreme knowledge, is gained by us, what will happen? We will be in the midst of all the problems, and yet the problems will not be able to influence us. This is the greatness. And therefore, this is the supreme knowledge. The other day, you know, one of our famous doctors from Bombay, he, heart specialist, he died of the same heart problem. So when I came here, somebody said, Swamiji, do you know about him? You know, he died of heart attack. I said, yes, I know. But how come he died? Is it that a heart specialist is banned from dying of heart attack? No. Heart will attack on anybody. Isn't it? Therefore, this is the supreme knowledge, having known which you will definitely change. Therefore, Vidyanam Raja. And that is the reason when you are walking the material scientific field, IT, OT, UT, all kinds of things, that does not require your inner purification. The patient is on the operation table, deathbed, and the doctor's hand is below the table. Unless the paperweight is put on the table, the hand will not come above and operate. So, to be an efficient doctor, you don't require to be a good person. But when you are walking this path of functioning from the absolute standpoint, you cannot have double standard. And therefore, this knowledge, Vidyanam Raja, Raj Vidya, this is the supreme knowledge, and Raj Guhyam. And it is such a secret knowledge. See, Raj Guhyam means what? One day, we had somewhere meditation class or something like that. I don't know, somewhere. And after the things were over, I got up. Because all of them, I think this happened recently somewhere in Australia. A good group of people, about 100 of them. And after the whole session was over, they were not ready to get up. Like statues, they were fixed. So I got up. And when nobody is moving, I went to the kitchen, started preparing my tea. I said, hey, come on, don't be serious. I was bluffing. And you have taken everything so seriously. Meditation is not a serious affair. Like, you should take jokes seriously. Isn't it? If you are serious about jokes, then only you are light in life. So, when I said, hey, the bluffs are over, get up. So one very senior, spiritual brand person came. He said, Swamiji, I was thinking, but now I am going to tell you. I said, tell me. Please don't call your lectures as bluff series. You openly tell that these are bluffs. And we get so hurt because we are really getting benefited. I said, then it is definitely a bluff. When the bluff is accepted as a truth, it's a real bluff, is it not? Anything that you talk by your tongue cannot be truth. Don't we take a spoon and put in our mouth, our tongue touches the spoon and we say, Juta. Juta means a bluff. Friends, reality cannot be spoken through words. It is beyond words. And the world being an illusion, whatever you talk about the illusion cannot be the reality. Therefore, all that we talk is only a bluff. And this is the Raj Guhyam. This is the supreme secret. What is the supreme secret? There was a demon. He was blessed by Bhagwan Vishnu that nobody can conquer him. He can kill anybody in this world. Immediately the demon started running after Bhagwan Vishnu. Now Bhagwan was running. Suddenly he got an idea. That idea is from that. He got an idea. And he went and hid himself in the heart of the same demon. Now that demon was searching the Lord everywhere in the whole world. Moko kaha dhunde bande, main to tere paas hu. Is it not the supreme secret? We are searching the supreme joy, the bliss, the happiness everywhere in the world except in our own being. That is why Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam. And why it is the supreme Guhya secret? 3 stages. When we are leading the life as a man or woman or as a human being, we are told the Dharma Shastra, do's and don'ts. a gross lifestyle. The second stage is when you start living as a jiva or as a soul, then you are told the second stage bluff. That if you do good, you go to heaven. If you do bad, you go to hell. Second stage. Now third stage. The knowledge is you don't have to go anywhere. You are that. The truth is revealed now and here. It is not posthumous. To attain the immortality, the first requirement, die. Are you Australian or what? You know, Australians die every now and then. The other day somebody came from Australia, our NRI only. So I said, hey, when did you come? To die. I said, I am not asking the purpose. They said, they as die. Therefore, this Raj Vidya, Raja Guhyam, this is the secret, topmost secret. And the reason is, the truth is you. The moment we discover our correct identity, all problems are dissolved. Friends, all the problems of our life are only because of wrong identity or identity crisis. If you remember how Bhagavad Gita started, there was nothing lacking in Arjuna as regard ability is concerned. One of his name was Vijaya, always victorious. Never he was defeated in any war, in any battle. But when he came on the battlefield, suddenly identity crisis got hold of him. And when we have crisis about our identity, our duties, our understanding, our vision, everything gets clouded. And thereafter, we start living a miserable existence. A miserable existence, we want others to change according to our whims and fancies. This has never happened. Bhagavan Sri Krishna could not change anybody. Do you think you and me can change? But we want everybody to change. Therefore, friends, please remember, the supreme secret is this. Discover your correct identity. And then you come to know that in this world, we were miserable only because of solid foolishness. So, Raj Vidya Raja Guhyam. Third, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Now, this knowledge is Pavitram. Pavitram means the highest calamity that you can think of in your life. Even from such a calamity, you will be protected. See? It's a technical term, Pavitram. Pavitra doesn't mean only pure. It's only an English translation. But if you go in the depth of the word, it means what could be the highest calamity in our life? Death. Isn't it? All of us are constantly afraid of death. If we can lead a life of fearless existence, we have discovered the truth. Pavitram, nothing in this world will ever deter you. That fearless existence is the dignity of life. Otherwise, constantly under fear. I am afraid my son will study properly. I am afraid my wife will listen to me. See? Pavitram. Idam Uttamam. Uttamam means the supremely beautiful. See, these are all superlative degrees the teacher is using. Guhyatamam, Uttamam. Uttamam means three stages. One is the infinitive, second is comparative, and third is superlative. What are these things? Are you taking us in the English grammar class? One day, one person, I was explaining the first person, second person, third person, and all that. So after the lecture was over, he said, Swamiji, were you an English grammar teacher? So these three stages, Ut, Uttara and Uttama. Ut is the worldly knowledge. how to lead a good life. Uttara is the knowledge which was given in the 8th chapter. If you go by the Shukla Marga, if you leave your body from the Murdha, from the crown, then you will go in the heavens and lead a very comfortable life without any tax problems, without any electricity cut, without any earthquakes, without any bomb blast. You will live comfortably there. And after your merits are exhausted, you will come back to Bombay. So that is a relative. But it is better than living only as a human being. So you go in the higher world. That knowledge is called as Uttara knowledge. Now the third is Uttama knowledge. You don't have to go anywhere, here and there. You are that now in this very moment. Therefore, friends, there cannot be any superior knowledge than this. Just discover yourself. See, this happens many times. The other day I came in my own place in Bombay, and I was running here and there in this country, that country, here. And I reached here in the night at about 9, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. I was so tired. Next day morning, I had to catch a flight to Ahmedabad, and I told Rupal, kindly wake me up in the morning, because I am feeling too sleepy. And when the bell went, phone, I was unable to find out the switch. What is happening? Where I am? Nothing is understood. I said, hey, this is too much. What is happening to me? I couldn't locate anything. And after some time, when I got up and stumbled and fell somewhere, then everything came to say, oh, I am in Bombay. Now I have to go to Ahmedabad, catch a flight. That was the first day in my life when I went to the airport without taking bath, because I was already late. And identity is discovered, problems are solved. The moment wrong identity is accepted, more problems are created. Therefore, pavitram, the highest purification is discovering your correct identity. Are we husband, wife, children, guru, shishya? None of this. That which gives us company, even in the deep sleep, that alone is our reality. Everything that is rejected in the deep sleep is only a fake note. So, pavitram idam uttamam and pratyakshaavagamam. And what we are talking to you is not only imagination. See, pratyakshaavagamam means what? I went there and I saw such a beautiful place. So, are you bluffing or what? No, I have seen with my own eyes. So, that is pratyaksha. And about the hell and the heaven, nobody has seen hell and heaven. But we accept because our scriptures tell, and every scripture tells, that if you do bad, you go to hell. And those who tell about going to hell, they are having the first-hand experience. So we only listen, okay, paroksha jnanam, it is called as indirect knowledge. Now here, pratyakshaavagamam, this is not the indirect knowledge, but this is immediate experience. See the difference? The heard knowledge, the knowledge gained through the faculties, and the experience, the third stage. A blind man has no colors and forms in his dictionary. A deaf man has no music in his life. So, first stage of knowledge, lowest. Second one is only heard. And the third one is pratyakshaavagamam. It is your direct experience. Therefore, you don't have to believe. But to come to this knowledge, you have to start with a strong belief. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. And it is dharmyam, it is about our own essential nature. The dharma of sugar is sweetness. The dharma of fire is heat. Without the heat, fire cannot be fire. Without the sweetness, sugar cannot be sugar. In the same manner, that because of which we are we, that is our reality, and that is dharmyam. And such a wonderful thing, sukham kartum. Imagine, spirituality is a terrible thing in life. Many people, when they get on the spiritual path, the first thing they do, they become serious. Hey, what happened? Since I have started going to Satsang, I have become like this. There was one young boy, I remember, he used to be very jolly and wonderful, excellent, relaxing person. He started going for this Yuva Kendra kind of classes, and there they started hitting their head against each other. What Krishna said, what Rama said, hu, logic. After 6 months, he became so dull-witted, and he came and asked me one question. Such and such question. I asked him, have you taken Chaupati ki bhel? He came with the Brahman. I asked him, have you eaten Chaupati bhel? He said, Swamiji, you are not answering my question. I said, that question and the words that you have used, you understand none of them. If I talk to you, you won't understand. First principle of spiritual life, never become serious. You will see all the great masters in this world, they were never serious. They were sincere. Sincerity has a different texture, and seriousness is the disease of mind. Therefore, susukham kartum, it is so simple that it is with a snap the truth is revealed. See? How much effort, science and technology will you use to go to sleep? The moment you drop all efforts, there you are. This is the reason why people sleep in satsang. Because no efforts. Slowly the thought develops, mind becomes quiet, and you are told that you are that Satchidananda Parabrahma Paramatma, you feel very good. Efforts over. Yad gatvana nivartante tadhama paravam mama. Therefore, susukham kartum, there are no efforts whatsoever. And avyayam, and the most important thing, it is not a knowledge which will putrefy with time. Please understand, this is very important word. All the knowledges that we gather in our life, they are lost as we become old. Isn't it? One of my friends, chartered accountants are the people who play with the figure, but they don't have their own figure. The chartered accountants. He was a chartered accountant. Now, he became old, and he had this problem. The problem was, I don't know what happened to me. I am forgetting everything. I am forgetting. Something is wrong. They went to doctor here and there. Nothing happened except spending the money. Earlier he misappropriated the public funds. Now his funds were misappropriated by the doctor. Parasparam bhavayantaha. Okay. And then ultimately when you fail everywhere, you land up with the Babaji. Such a person landed with me. He said, Swamiji, I don't know what happened. I said, don't worry, we'll have food first. And then talk. And then I told him, I said, look here. How much chapatis you were taking when you were young? How much laddus you were able to eat when you were young? This much quantity. Now how much ghee you can eat? Ghee, if I look at the tin, I get heart attack. If all your faculties are becoming weak, memory is also a faculty. And therefore, be very attentive. This knowledge is not the knowledge gathered through the agency of mind. It is an experience of being which cannot be corrupted with the advancement of age. See? And therefore, avyayam, time cannot influence this experience of being. See how great this is. And therefore, once only you recognize your correct identity, thereafter, there is no fear in this world. That is why, susukam kartum avyayam. Now, ashraddhadhana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. But to get into this knowledge, what is most important is, you have to accept this to begin with. See, Shraddha or faith is the foundation of our existence. Without Shraddha or faith, there is nobody in this world who can live. And another important factor, faith is always necessarily blind. There are some people, Andha Shraddha Nirmulan Samiti. Shraddha or faith has to be blind. When you know, you don't require faith. When you don't know, then you require the faith, is it not? For example, we are going from here to our homes. We don't know what is going to come on the way. So how we start? I think I am going to reach home perfectly all right. And then only you can start. So faith is the inner strength which can keep us going in the field of total darkness. When we know that this particular flight which is going, and in that flight there is a bomb planted, will we go by that flight? No. I want to get down. Why? Because you know. And when you do not know, then you accept, I think the flight is safe. Therefore, to discover this absolute vision, we have to begin with the faith. Because we do not know, so let us accept somebody. Friends, it is very necessary that we have at least one altar in this whole world before whom we have no questions, no arguments, no logic. If we fail to have that altar in our life, we are poorer than the poorest. See? One day, somebody came and asked me something. Swamiji, please give me some updesh. Okay. You start chanting Om Namah Shivaya. He said, Swamiji, but I like Bhagwan Krishna. I said, no, forget about Krishna, useless fellow. You start Om Namah Shivaya. But Swamiji, but I like Krishna. I said, who cares? I am telling you Om Namah Shivaya, start Om Namah Shivaya. But Swamiji, I don't like it. I said, I am not asking your liking, disliking. Start Om Namah Shivaya. But why are you so obsessed with Om Namah Shivaya? I said, I am like that. You are creating confusion in my mind. I said, that is my profession. No? CA, confused absolutely. So, he said, but suppose I start Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, will it be wrong? I said, it will be 100% wrong. He said, no, I do not know. I should not have asked you. I said, that is your mistake. What can I do now? He said, suppose I don't listen to you and start this Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama. I said, you will get sin. Now he was so disgusted. Swamiji, I don't know why I have come to you. I said, you have come for your uddhar. He said, what is good going to happen to me because of this? I said, now listen. We go to Mahatmas not to listen. We use them for our benefit. Swamiji, you please tell my father-in-law that he should transfer all the property first in my name and then everything will be all right. So I asked that man, I am not bluffing all the time, sometimes I tell the truth. So when I asked this man, I said, look here, you are listening to me every day. He said, yes, Swamiji, I am your fan. I said, at least you are my fan. Your father-in-law is not even a tube light. He has never come and heard me. He said, yes. Now tell me, if you are my fan, are you listening to me? You are coming to ask me, and when I tell you, you don't listen to me. You want your father-in-law should listen to me, whom he has never heard. See? We use Mahatmas for our benefit. We never listen to them. Therefore, I said, you want a certification. Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama is the best mantra. And I want to destroy that wrong notion. See? Unless we give up the slavery of thoughts, we will never be able to go beyond the thoughts. Whether it is a thought of Aham Brahmasmi, whether it is a thought of Soham, whether it is a thought of Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, these are all the shackles of different designs. Unless we have the courage, and that courage can be gathered only when we surrender to the teacher. That is why many masters, they tell the disciples such funny things which has no logic whatsoever. And if you are able to accept the funny dictates of your teacher, then alone you have really surrendered your thinking faculty. The moment your thinking is arrested, the truth is revealed. Tada drashtuhu sarupe avasthanam. Patanjali Yoga Darshan. Therefore, ashraddhadhana, if you do not have faith, you will never progress on this path. Ashraddhadhana purushaha dharmasyasa param tapa aprapya. So, this absolute vision, asya dharma, this dharmasya vision of this absolute can never be attained by such people. What happens today? Bhagavad says, aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. They never get the glimpses of the absolute and they keep on living at the level of relativity. And all the problems of life are only because of the vision of relativity. All the noise is only because of the vision of relativity. All the differences in the whole world because of one God. See how many religions? Hindu, Muslim, Christian, then Jain, Buddha. There is no end to them. And all of them talk about the same God. And poor God, when you look at him, he says, I am also getting confused. Whether I am a Mahavir brand or a Buddha brand or a Krishna brand or a Allah brand, who am I? I am getting confused. Therefore, friends, aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. Such people keep on living themselves at the level of relativity. Therefore, living scientifically means transcending the existence at the relative plane and graduating to the absolute standpoint and thereafter playing the game of relativity. Three things are clearly understood. Then alone we have the real scientific vision about life. Or else we are only struggling either on the material plane or on the spiritual plane. Why, people, whether they are walking the spiritual path or the material path, They are miserable. They are miserable. You know, one of my publication, happy cards. On one of the happy card, this is a message. The most miserable search is the search for happiness. You stop the search and there you are. And why we search? Because we have doubt about ourselves. We have doubt about the world. We have doubt about the God. And therefore constantly struggle. Therefore, friends, only one thing we all have to understand. Change the relative standpoint and come to the absolute vision. Now see what happens. From the absolute vision, that which was a future from the relative vision becomes the present from the absolute vision. If you remember, rather if you don't remember, it's good. I give you one example. There was a man who was sitting on a coconut tree on the top. And there was another person sitting at the base of the tree. And frustrated, oh God, I don't know when will I get some vehicle, I can go, nothing is coming, oh God, please send a vehicle. The man who was on the top, he said, my dear child, worry not. Within an hour, a bullock cart will come with a red and white bulls. There will be a man seated there with a turban. And it will take you to your destination. And who is there? Those who are on the top, they always grow beard. So from there, oh, who is that Dadial? Beta, I am the well-wisher of yours. After 1 hour, that bullock cart comes and the man goes home. After he reaches his village, what will be the first thing he did? Do you know, on that tree, there is one very peculiar Mahatma, And that Mahatma told me, within 1 hour, one bullock cart will come. And lo, it has come. He is a Siddha Purusha. Now what happened? Actually, the person who was at the base of the tree, his vision radius was very limited. The person who was on the top of the tree, his vision radius was very, very wide. So what was the present for the man on the top was future for the man on the bottom. And when we live our life as body, we are at the base of the tree. When we live as a jiva or the soul, we are halfway the tree. And when we are living as the absolute being, then we are on the top of the tree. And from that absolute vision, the differences between the past, present and future, they merge into presence. Living in the presence is absolute vision. And living in the present with the division of past and the future is a relative vision. And this is what is called as samsara. This is what is called as bhavasagar. Bhavasagar ab sukh gaya hai, fikr nahi moh taran na ki. Where that bhavasagar has gone? In one of his compositions, Samartha Ramdas Swami says that by the grace of the Guru, I crossed the ocean or the river of transmigration, and when I reached the other shore, I wanted to thank my Guru. And when I looked back, there was never a river nor a Guru. To whom to thank? Once this absolute vision is gained, friends, we have achieved perfectly scientific outlook of life. And therefore, this is the secret. This is the supreme secret. This is the supreme knowledge. So ashraddha dhana purushaha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. Here when Bhagavan says aprapya mam, they don't attain me. Now please understand. The word I is the most important word in the whole of dictionary. In our life also. If you will see, whether we use this I word rightly or wrongly doesn't matter. But that is the most important word. When anybody is talking about something, do you think we want to listen? We cut him short and then say, so when I was there, because unless I is present, nothing in this world is meaningful to us. You see the old people, you go to a Shivaji Park, on the parapet wall, there are parking lots with the names of the people. They always sit there only. And that is the dream of my life. If I get time, I can go and sit there. I never get time to go and sit there. So, they will sit there, and what they will talk? One old man will say, my son finally got the visa, USA visa. Gujaratis have the ultimate in their life is green card. If they get a green card, Krita Krityascha Bharata. Now there is nothing more to be achieved. So, he will say, finally my son got the visa or the green card, and I think now he will be able to sponsor me. Then I'll go there and I'll start preparing dokla. Now this one Gujarati is talking something, other one will keep quiet. Immediately, my son has gone to New Zealand and he got the permanent residency. Do you know that? Now the third person. I don't believe going to foreign. I like my Shivaji Park. What a lovely place it is. And in all these things, the hero is I. Friends, when we understand the correct meaning of I, the correct meaning of I is used by Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. If we do not come to discover our absolute identity, we will keep on suffering the relative problems of our life. There is no way out. This is the way. So, aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. Normally, when our local languages, we translate these words, that by God's grace, you will cross the bhavasagara. Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara. The moment these kinds of words come, you see our Gita place, pictures. Immediately there will be one ocean, and in that ocean the crocodiles and the snakes and the sharks will be coming out, and one fellow is lying there, and from somewhere Bhagavan Krishna comes and takes him in the boat and goes out. Mrityu samsara. Like we teach the children A for apple, so they got apple. Mrityu samsara, like that. That is not the meaning. The meaning is, get out of this relative understanding and come to get established in the absolute vision. All the problems disappear. Now the question is, what is this absolute vision? Now these next two verses, 4th and 5th, these are the heart of this 9th chapter. One day I was in Bengal, Siliguri. Siliguri means Silikudi is called in Bengali as Siliguri. Silikudi in Punjabi means a stupid girl. So, in that Siliguri, I was having my lecture long time back. And one girl came after the lecture. She said, Swamiji, I am doing my doctorate or MPhil in philosophy, and I am writing a thesis on Bhagavad Gita, and I have discovered 2 verses meaningless in Bhagavad Gita. So I asked her, I said, Amma, are these two verses, chapter 9, verse number 4 and 5? That means you know that. I said, yes. Don't you agree these are meaningless? I said, yes, they are meaningless. Very good. Then I will get my degree. I said, you will get degraded. Why degree? You know, our wisdom is assessed by the depth of our ignorance. Measuring rod of our wisdom is the depth of our ignorance. I was talking a general topic. Lions means what? Only bluff, oh bluff. So I was bluffing there. And in that I must have mentioned one verse from Bhagavad Gita here and there and completed. Because for papi paid killing you have to do all the natak. After that was over, one of the terrible lion came and he said, Swamiji, I said, Amma, look here. These are not interpolations. It is not wrong. It is our inability to understand. Friends, truth, if it is directly told to us, we will never be able to receive it. One day one person asked me, Swamiji, why so many scriptures Hindus have? Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, hundreds and hundreds of Upanishads, and then this Patanjali Yoga Darshan, they have Tantra Shastra and Devi 18 Puranas, 18 Upa Puranas, Smriti and all that. Why so confusion? Why not one God, one day, one book and once for all finished? And there is so much of contradiction. One thing is contradicted in another one. Like you read the Bhagavad Puran. There Krishna, the Supreme One. You go to Shiva Puran. Shiva, the Supreme One. And before the Shiva, Krishna comes and does the puja. You go to Bhagavad Puran, there Shivji comes and does the puja of Bhagavan Krishna. We get so confused. I said, that is the purpose. Now see, when you get something straight away, you will never have the joy of receiving it. For example, when you get your regular salary, do you feel happy? But when you get a useless lottery ticket, only 100 rupees, the joy that you get of getting a 100 rupees lottery is more than getting your regular salary of 40,000 per month. And because it is a surprise. The truth is the highest surprise. Acharyavat pashyati kashchidenam. And that surprise can be only when it is hidden. Don't we do this thing to our children? When we give them any gift, unless you are in America, you can return it, okay? This is the, the receipt also. So you can go and return it and buy whatever you want. So, when we give the gift to a child, it is so much wrapped, packed and all that. And then the child is struggling to open this, that. And when he opens that and he discovers that what he was searching, that joy goes deep in him. In the same manner, when we discover the truth behind the seeming contradictions of statements, you will never lose that truth. Otherwise, we are told, Tattvamasi, you are Paramatma. I am Paramatma. What do you know about me? I am Paramatma. So when we are told, see the other day, I don't know whom, I said, Mahatma ji, baithiye. Swamiji, don't call me Mahatma. I said, all right, chor baitho. Swamiji, don't call me chor. I said, what do I call you? See, we are not ready to accept the divinity, and if we are abused, that we don't want. And therefore, here is the technique wherein you will discover the absolute reality in the midst of relativity. You don't have to run away anywhere. All the great masters lived very much in the din and roar of this mad world. then alone we are walking on the right path. Now what is that absolute vision? Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina mastani sarvabhutani na chaham teshvavastitaha na cha mastani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhuta bhrunna cha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. These two verses are one contradiction after other. First, Maya tatamidam sarvam. This whole world is permeated by me. What is the world? World is names and forms. All the names and forms are permeated by me. And who are you? I am nameless and formless. First contradiction. All the names and forms are supported by me, who is nameless and formless. Maya avyaktamutina idam jagat tatam. Second, idam jagat means that which is objectively perceived. All the objective world is permeated by the subject. Then why do you call it as object? हो गया गड़बड़? Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakthamurtina. Third contradiction. Masthani sarvabhutani. And therefore all the beings and things are in me. See? That 11th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, that Vishwarupa Darshan, you see the picture in the pictorial Bhagavad Gita. A huge body of the God is shown, and then there are hundreds and thousands of heads, and in every nook and corner, wherever there is a place, one God has sneaked in and then sitting. Somewhere rishis are there, somewhere snakes are there, somewhere different kind of ayudhas are there, and this is the Vishwarupa Darshan. So obsessed with the human form that we have reduced the formless reality into the human form. See? If the buffaloes have to think about God, they will think a white, straight horn, not the murra type of curly horn. White, straight, and giving directly coffee. Because God. So all that human beings have has to be something extraordinary, then only becomes God. We have two hands, after marriage we become Chaturbhuja. Bhagwan is by birth Chaturbhuja, and therefore you can't call him what Bhuja. If you get married to 16,108, how many hands will be there? Therefore, this supreme reality which is formless is reduced to the form because of our obsession to the form. And therefore we all suffer. So, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina masthani sarvabhutani. All the forms are supported by me, the formless, but na chaham teshvavastitaha, but I am not in them. See? Two contradictions now. First, I, the formless, support all the names and forms. Second, they are in me, but I am not in them. See? I am in India. India is in me, but I am not in India. Then, the third contradiction. Nachamasthani bhutani. To be very frank with you, none of these things are in me. Why don't you decide once for all? One thing you tell. Don't create confusion. You must have seen, these cartoons, Beetle, Sergeant. One day that person was, one of that soldiers, he was standing. And the sergeant was giving orders. Left turn, right turn, about turn, left turn, right turn. And he was standing. Others were moving. But this fellow was not moving. So the sergeant gets angry. Why don't you move? He said, first of all you decide which is the final turn. Then I will move once for all. In the same manner, tell me once, sir, you are with form or without form. Whether the world is in you or world is not in you. And now you say, none of them are in me, but I am in them. I am getting totally confused. And when the student is totally confused, Bhagavan says, Pashyame yogam aishwaram. Agya na maja. Yogam aishwaram. And last confusion. Bhuta bhrunnacha bhutastaha. I am the supporter of all the beings and the things, and after supporting also, I take their support to live in. Bhuta bhrunnaha cha bhutastaha. And the last contradiction, mama atma bhuta bhavanaha. And the essence of the whole existence is me alone. Now, see the absolute what it is. This absolute is loosely translated in English or languages as God. And as much there is confusion about God, there is no confusion about anything. If you take the Jains do not accept the Ishvara as the creator of this world. According to Jain philosophy, there is no Ishvara who has created the world. Then what is their philosophy? The world is the result of only the karma. Therefore, all their spiritual practice is only through karma, and they become extremely purer. Like Bhagwan Mahavir was initially a jiva, then he became more and more purified and went to the Siddha Shila, and then he is called as the Bhagwan Mahavir. So process of purification through karma alone becomes the meaning of God. You go to the Buddhas, Buddha philosophy. According to Buddha philosophy, those who are accepting Bhagwan Buddha, Gautam Buddha, he was a jiva living in a palace with a wife and children, and then he also went through the process of purification, and their purification is not through karma, but through upasana. And then he became pure, he became the Siddha Purusha, and therefore he became the Bhagwan Buddha. Buddha means enlightened. You go to our Christians and the Islam. They accept God is the efficient cause of this world. God who has created the world, but the God is other than the world. So he is somewhere in the heaven. The same thing is accepted by the Arya Samajis. Now the ultimate is the Lord is the creator and the created. So this duality, this relativity of creator and created is dissolved only in this absolute reality. The example to make the whole point clear. This example I gave you a lot of times. See, one is the waves, second is the ocean, third is the water. Now this verse is said by the water. What the water says, Maya tatamidam sarvam. By me, all these waves are permeated. Tatam means permeating. That root tatam means used to expand. Like, we have got the strings on a musical instrument, that is called a tantu. Tantu, the same root, tatam. A continuous, unbroken presence is called as tatam. So says, Maya tatamidam sarvam. All the waves are permeated by me. And what are the waves? Waves are name and form. And what is the water? Water has neither the name nor the form. So, Maya tatamidam sarvam. Jagat avyakta murtina. Jagat means what? That which is constantly changing is called as Jagat. Although all the waves are constantly changing, water is not undergoing any change. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagada vyakta murtina. masthani sarva bhutani. All the waves are in me. Without the water, waves have no existence. So where are the waves? Waves are in the water. Tani sarva bhutani na cha aham teshu avasthitaha. But I am not in the waves. How come you are not in the waves? Because what is the biography of a wave? Wave is born, wave grows, wave competes, wave struggles, wave becomes old, and one day the wave dies. Water is neither born, nor grows, nor competes, nor becomes old, never dies. So the tragedy of the waves never affects the water. Nacha aham teshu avasthitaha. See? And then the teacher goes one step further. He says, Nachamasthani bhutani. But hey Arjun, if you look at the ocean and the waves from the eyes of the water, if you go and talk to water, see, dear water, when you are taking the form of the ocean, you are frightening. And when you are taking the form of little ripples and beautiful waves, you are enchanting. Now what the reply of water will be? Excuse me, what are you referring to this ocean and the waves? From the point of view of the water, there is nothing like ocean, because water is not afraid of getting drowned in the ocean, nor the water is afraid of getting broken and shattered because of the death of the waves. And therefore, the tragedy of the waves and the arrogance of the ocean can never be understood by the water. See? Nachamasthani bhutani. And therefore, Pashyame Yogamaishwaram. And this is my glory. What is the glory? Although I am one without a second, in that one without a second reality, the water, ocean the cause, and waves the effect, is simply superimposed. And therefore, if we want to realize the water, we have to transcend the limitations of cause and effect, ocean and the waves. See? And all the relativity is nothing but supported by this foolish logic of cause and effect. Therefore, Pashyame Yogameshwaram. From the absolute point of view, it is Yoga Sthiti. And from the relative point of view, it is the Aishwarya, it is the glory. In the 10th chapter, Bhagavad will bring this topic. When we go to a minister for getting some work done, even if you are born you have born hatred for the dogs, and you go to the minister for some of your work, and that wretched dog comes and starts smelling and licking you, what will be your reaction? What a lovely doggy, And you must have seen all those dog lovers, they never call their dog as a kutta. They will talk everything in Hindi, except when the reference of dog comes, they use English word. And all the dogs are named as Swami, Wilson, maybe a revenge on the Britishers, God knows. So, I may not like that dog, but that dog is the Aishwarya, the glory of that minister, is it not? Now, if I want to get the work done through the minister, what I will do? I will propitiate the dog. In the same manner, if I want, be very attentive, if I want to attain the absolute vision, do not run away and do not hate this relative beauty of this world. Then see the joy of life. If there is no disease, health will have no meaning. If there are no patients, doctors will starve. If there are no criminals, police department will become corrupt. They cannot exist. If there are no people to rule, where our Yadavi will go? All the descendants of Bhagavan Krishna, where will they go? Therefore, the beauty of life is this relativity. And this relativity is beautiful because supported by the absolute reality. Is it not the most beautiful way of living in this world? See, you drive in India and you drive in the overdeveloped countries. In India, when you drive, you know, the number of deaths because of the accidents on the road is minimum in our country as compared to international standard. Because here, you are all the time alert. You can't afford. You fix, and fix the speed, fix the steering and sit there. And like a Dumbo, it goes on and on and on and on. Is this life? Are driving with great hurry and suddenly RTO comes. RTO means a buffalo. And the RTO comes and looks at you. Do you have license? Everything is gone. This is called the real life. Friends, please do not imagine that those who have everything goody-goody, they are enjoying life, their life becomes monotonous. Even if you are a Bengali, if you eat non-stop rasagullas, you will get disgusted. You require a chutney in between. That is the beauty of life. And this is Pashyame Yogam Aishwaram. Play the game of relativity without losing your foundation in the absolute reality. This is what Bhagwan Sri Krishna demonstrated in his life. Toward the end of his conclusion of his Leela, he found all these Yadavas have become terrible. Now, unless they kill themselves, the world will not be saved from the influence of this terrible monster whom I have produced. Those who have studied Bhagavad Shastra, it is very clearly told. First of all, Brahmaji created the Daitya, the Rakshasas, and they become very cruel. Then he created the Devas. They become extremely indulgent, Bhoga Pradhan, and then he created human beings. So Bhagwan Krishna first of all created Yadavas, and when they were becoming uncontrollable, even they wanted to go and hit Bhagwan Krishna and Balramji, then Bhagwan thought the only way is to put them together and finish. And he was unsuccessful. He thought all the Yadavas were killed, and then he thought, now I can go to my own Vaikuntha. And he did that mistake, and because of God's mistake, today India is suffering. See? Therefore, friends, Yoga Aishwarya is this. We don't lose the foundation of the absolute understanding, and we play the game of relativity. Don't we do it with our children? When we play with them, we know in this game there is neither a loss nor a gain. So when you are playing, suppose you are winning and the child is crying, you enjoy. You don't become serious. Or the child is crying, you should not make the child cry. Then you are an American parent. You are not Indian one. You play the game of life. And when the child is really broken, hey, come on, let us try, give one try. And then you start purposely losing. And when you start losing, and then the child becomes very happy, hey, I am really winning the game. Is it not life worth living? Therefore, Pashyame Yogameshwaram. Let us not run away from the problems and the relative perception, but never forget our absolute nature. Pashyame yogameshwaram bhuta brunna cha bhutastaha. So although I am the supporter of this world, yet I live very much in this world. Like the water is supporting the waves. And where the water is living? In the waves. The water is supporting the ocean. And where the water is living? Water is living in the ocean. So this adhara adheya bhav, the support and supported is only imagination. The truth is only the absolute water. So bhuta brunna cha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavana. And it is I alone who is supporting the total creation. The moment you get into this understanding of life, then you will see that there is nothing in this world worth becoming serious. Then what for we are here in this world? Time pass. Time pass? Are we not all coming here for that? Tell me. You know, Prempuri mein jao, very nice hall, no disturbance, very nice gentry, and 1.5 hour you spend nicely. Nobody takes your sleepers and go home and eat and wait till tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnavidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.